We're going to entitle this one, Find Michelle. How to identify those clients that you want more of. I want you to do something today, and that is find Michelle. Before you start searching your client list for someone actually named Michelle, let me explain. Michelle is the name I've given to my ideal client. In entrepreneurial circles, it's called your avatar. We think of that as something different now, but that's what we always called it years ago. And you need to create yours. You don't have to call her Michelle. In fact, give her a name that's personal to you, something that means something. But because you can picture who you actually want more of, that makes a difference. You will start noticing them. You will start finding them on your schedule. And once you notice them, you can build a practice with more people like those clients. The $150,000 versus the $600,000 client. Here's why demographics alone won't work. I can have a client with a household income of $150,000. I explain their dog needs an oral health procedure, a comprehensive exam, full mouth radiographs, treatment, extractions, and the estimate runs to around $1,900. And the response is almost immediate. Okay, how do we get on the schedule? When can we do it? Then you can have another client, household income may be $600K, same recommendation, same doctor, same hospital, same $1,900, and suddenly we're negotiating. Do we really need the x-rays? Can we skip this? Is there a less expensive option? Is there a discount time? What changed? It wasn't necessarily their ability to pay. It was their perception of the value. And this is where scarcity versus abundance starts to become important. Michelle understands the value. It's not that she's careless with money. That's not what I mean. She may actually be very thoughtful, but she recognizes the value that you have when she sees it. She knows your confidence and competence. She experiences a warmth from you and your team. Those three things are going to matter. Competence, that's assumed with your DVM. Confidence is something that you will have to work on and build. And warmth, without it, you can forget it. The charisma is gone. The belief that they really know that you care about them and their pet. Then they're not evaluating the $1,900 invoice. They're looking at the outcome, the relationship, the trust, and the people delivering that care. So here's your exercise. Think about your schedule and look at it for that name that pops out. You'll notice a smile comes to your face before you even think of it. Good. Amy's coming in with Max, or we love it when Michael shows up with Bailey. Why did you smile? That is the question. Most of us have never stopped long enough to think about and write down that answer. Maybe she trusts you. Maybe she loves your staff. Maybe she's one of those who follows through. She asks excellent questions. Or she takes extraordinary care of her pets. Maybe she appreciates the fact that you remember things about her and her pet that are not simply written in a record. Maybe she says thank you when she pays her bill. Your whole team lights up when she walks through the door. That's your Michelle. Now we'll briefly talk about Bernies. Let me introduce you to Bernie. Bernie may be a wonderful person, but Bernie is the tire kicker. Imagine the car dealership. He's the one who wants to look under the hood, talk about the financing, check the tires, of course, compare every option, take one more test drive, and then the answer is, well, let me think about it. Veterinary medicine has Bernies too. Bernie walks in and wants to talk about all the supplements. Let's discuss laser therapy. Exactly how does it work? Oh, what about radiographs? How about diet, alternative therapies? Option A, option B, option C. And 30 minutes later, he doesn't actually ever do anything. And again, Bernie isn't necessarily bad, but Bernie can consume a tremendous amount of emotional energy and drain you. And here's what veterinarians tend to do. We see 20 wonderful clients. We see maybe 2 Michelles, but only 1 Bernie. And this is where the exercise changes more than just your business. When you deliberately start looking for Michelles, your attention changes. And at the end of the day, instead of asking, who drove me crazy today, you'll ask, where was my Michelle today? And you'll write that down and you'll focus on it more than just writing that letter that's going to offer them even more. You will see that value again in your team. What did my team do well? What did it make you feel like? This is why I became a veterinarian. Now, something interesting begins to happen after that. You begin to see opportunities rather than frustration. Again, that's that scarcity, abundance mindset and lens. You feel a little bit lighter and you realize, I didn't necessarily need everybody to become Michelle, but I need a few more Michelles. And don't define Michelle by only money. This is important. Your biggest spender may not be Michelle. She may be, but maybe not. Don't simply run a report of your top 20 clients. Look for those avatars. Look a little deeper. I want clients who know our value our entire team, respect our time, pay promptly with a smile. Turning everything into negotiation is not what we want. Thank us for the service we provide. Recognize the individualized attention that we give. Trust our recommendations, that we've gained that over time, and they appreciate the warmth that comes with it. That's completely different who spent the most money. Your assignment for this week, as Mission Impossible would say, dum, 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 should you choose to take it, is to look for your Michelle. Put a little asterisk by the name. Why her? And do it again the next day. By the end of the week, I hope you'll have 2, 3, maybe 5 names. And start looking for what are the commonalities, the common characteristics that will build your avatar. You can build her out. You can name her. What does she value? How does she communicate? What's her decision-making pillars? How does she treat the team? Here's where it becomes a little different. Rather than a Facebook ad, you're not advertising to everybody. Remember, these cards we're asking you to use are standard business cards. This is not something that is made for referrals. That makes it personalized. And here's where those 5 business cards and that sheet of letterhead I mentioned are going to come into play. Once you find Michelle, I want you to write to her. Not an email, not a mass text. Don't drop her into an automated campaign. You write a real handwritten note on, I use a notepad, but you can use a letterhead, 1 sheet of letterhead. And here's what I don't say. Why are there 5 cards? Here's how it works. Personalize the letter so it could only have been written to that one client. And this is why I'm perfectly happy giving Michelle, if it's a 2020 card, we'll go through the full recipe, anywhere from $100 to $250, because she's going to introduce me to 5 more people who have her same characteristics. Like Jim Rohn said, you are the makeup of the 5 people you spend the most time around. So her referrals are going to be more like her. What would that do for your day, your week, your year, your practice? Not just in finance and revenue and new client numbers that are the crux of what we're talking about, but for seeing more of those Michelles. What would that do for your overall happiness in going into those appointments? So until next time, go make your next appointment just a little bit better.